Have you ever felt like life is speeding past, but you're standing still? Like no matter how hard you try, happiness feels like it's out of reach? If yes, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into a subject that millions experience but few talk about openly: depression. Let's explore what it is, why it happens, and most importantly, how we can support ourselves and others in this journey toward healing. First, let's clear the air. Depression is more than just a passing sadness or a rough day. Imagine waking up every day feeling tired, empty, or overwhelmed for no clear reason. Depression isn't something you can shake off with a good night's sleep or a motivational quote. It's a mental health condition that affects your thoughts, emotions, and even your physical health. Take Sarah, for example. She was the life of the party, a successful professional, always laughing, always on the move. But inside, she was battling feelings of worthlessness and exhaustion. People couldn't tell because she kept a brave face. Sarah's story reminds us that depression often hides behind smiles. So how do we recognize depression, especially when it often hides in plain sight? Depression doesn't look the same for everyone, but here are some common signs you might notice in yourself or someone else. Persistent feelings of sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness. Losing interest in things you once loved, whether it's a hobby, friends, or even food. Changes in appetite. Eating too much or losing your appetite entirely. Sleeping too much or struggling with insomnia. Feeling tired all the time, even after resting. Difficulty concentrating, making decisions, or remembering things. Physical symptoms like headaches or stomach problems with no clear cause. And most importantly, feelings of worthlessness or thoughts of self-harm. Consider Ravi, a college student who stopped attending his classes. His friends thought he was just lazy, but in reality, he felt too drained to even get out of bed. He didn't know how to explain that his mind felt like it was stuck in a fog. Ravi's story shows that depression can affect even the brightest young minds. If any of these resonate with you, remember, you're not alone. But why does depression happen in the first place? Let's dig deeper. Depression is complex and it doesn't have a single cause. It's often a combination of factors. 1. Biological factors. Changes in brain chemistry can play a major role. Neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine, which regulate mood, might be out of balance. Hormonal changes, especially during pregnancy, menopause, or thyroid issues, can trigger depression. 2. Genetics. If depression runs in your family, your chances of experiencing it may increase. 3. Environmental triggers like trauma, abuse, or growing up in an unhealthy environment can increase your risk. Even prolonged stress at work or home can lead to depression. For lifestyle and habits like lack of exercise, a poor diet, and irregular sleep can worsen depression. Substance abuse, like alcohol or drugs, can be both a cause and an effect of depression. 5. External stressors. Big life changes, like losing a loved one, financial problems, or even retirement, can act as triggers. Anita, a young mother, began experiencing postpartum depression after her child was born. She felt guilty for not feeling the joy that others expected of her. Anita's story reminds us that depression can be triggered by hormonal changes and doesn't make anyone a bad person. It makes them human. So, depression can come from many directions. But there's another layer we need to address: the myths surrounding it. Let's challenge some harmful myths about depression. Myth 1. Depression is just laziness. Fact. Depression makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming. Myth 2. Only weak people get depressed. Fact. Depression doesn't discriminate. It affects people from all walks of life. Myth 3. You can just snap out of it. Fact. Recovery takes time, effort, and often professional help. Myth 4. Talking about depression makes it worse. Fact. Talking about it is the first step toward healing. Now that we've debunked the myths, let's explore what living with depression feels like. Depression can feel like carrying a heavy backpack everywhere you go. Every small task, getting out of bed, brushing your teeth, replying to a text, feels like climbing a mountain. It's a constant battle between wanting to be okay and feeling like you never will be. Mark, a successful entrepreneur, once described his depression as living in a gray cloud where nothing felt real or meaningful. Even though he was thriving professionally, he felt numb inside. His story reminds us that outward success doesn't always reflect inner peace. But here's the good news. While depression feels overwhelming, there are ways to fight back. Recovery is possible, and it starts with small steps. Here's what you can do. 1. Talk about it. Reach out to a trusted friend, family member, or counselor. Sharing your feelings can bring relief. 2. Seek professional help. Therapy, counseling, or medication can be life-changing. 3. Get active. Regular exercise boosts serotonin and endorphins, lifting your mood. Create a routine. Regular sleep, meals, and activities can restore balance. 5. Practice gratitude. Start a journal to list one thing you're grateful for each day. 6. Limit negative inputs. Avoid toxic people, excessive news, or anything that drains your energy. And if you ever feel like it's too much, remember, help is just a call away. If you or someone you know is having thoughts of self-harm, don't wait. Call a helpline, talk to someone you trust, or seek professional help immediately. Your life is too valuable to lose. And here's the most important part. Depression is not the end of your story. It's just a chapter. Depression might feel like a never-ending night, but the sun always rises. You are not your depression. You are so much more, stronger, braver, and more resilient than you think. Healing is possible, and it begins with one small step. You're not alone in this journey. Think of someone like J.K. Rowling. Before her success with Harry Potter, she battled severe depression as a single mother. She channeled her pain into her creativity, showing that even in the darkest times, hope exists. If this video helped you, share it with someone who might need it. Together, we can break the stigma and spread hope.